My name is Don Sauce. I'm Hot Sauce on Twitch and DSauce89 on Twitter, and welcome to a special edition of one of my Let's Plays, kind of live stream things, where we're going to read some Friedrich Nietzsche and play Hitman. This idea came to me a little bit ago because my roommates have decided to do a run-through of the Paris hotel level where they kill literally every single NPC. And it seems like an absurd thing to me to want to do. To just decide, I'm going to kill literally every person in this game because I can. And it revealed to me that this game is this kind of completely amoral system. And my roommates and I have been reading Nietzsche out loud to each other earlier today for reasons. And because we're just having like an existential crisis about America right now, as I hope everyone else is. And I made this connection between Hitman and Nietzsche because I've had too much to drink. And now we're going to read part 7 of Beyond Good and Evil out loud. And one of my roommates, who's going to tonight be under the pseudonym of Martin, is going to have like kind of an in-depth discussion of each of Nietzsche's aphorisms from the chapter of his book that we're going to read. And aphorisms are kind of like little mini chapters where he discusses like one specific idea, although it's also kind of more complicated than that. And this roommate kind of knows a lot more about Nietzsche than I do. I'm kind of a Nietzsche neophyte, whereas this roommate who's going to discuss with us is very well informed. And also another roommate who's also going to be under a pseudonym named Virginia. She also knows a lot about Nietzsche. And so we're going to educate ourselves about Nietzsche and play Hitman.
You have to introduce the player.
Oh yeah, and while we have this discussion, another one of my roommates, I have a lot of roommates, too many.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. My other roommate, Leon, he's gonna play. And occasionally chime in on the conversation, but mostly the Paris level of Hitman 2016. Alright, I just want to make sure that I tweeted about this. And I did. This is going to go so bad. Part 7. Our virtues. Paul is back, by the way.
Paul is back?
Paul's back.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
I appreciate the Monty Python reference. It's one of my favorite Monty Python bits. Alright, aphorism 214. Our virtues. It is probable that we, too, still have our virtues. Although in all fairness, they will not be the simple-minded and foursquare virtues for which we hold our grandfathers in honor, and at arm's length. We Europeans of the day after tomorrow, we firstborn of the 20th century, with all our dangerous curiosity, our multiplicity, and ardent disguises, our mellow and, as it were, sweetened cruelty in spirit and senses, if we should have virtues, we shall presumably have only virtues which have learned to get along best with our most secret and cordial inclinations, with our most ardent needs. Well then, let us look for them in our labyrinths, where, as is well known, all sorts of things lose themselves. All sorts of things are lost for good. And is there anything more beautiful than looking for one's own virtues? Doesn't this almost mean believing in one's own virtue? But this believing in one's own virtue, isn't this at bottom the same thing that was formerly called one's good conscience? That venerable long pigtail of a concept which our grandfathers fastened to the backs of their heads, and often enough also to the backside of their understanding. So it seems that however little we may seem old-fashioned and grandfatherly honorable to ourselves in other matters, in one respect we are nevertheless the worthy grandsons of these grandfathers, we last Europeans with a good conscience. We too will wear their pigtail. Alas, if you knew how soon, very soon, all will be different. Alright, Martin, what's Nietzsche talking about?
Well, a little bit of background. Earlier in this book, and then in previous books, Nietzsche has this famous line about God is dead, and we have killed him, right? And what Nietzsche means by that is that all of the previous generations who he's mentioned in this passage, at least for the past 1,000, 2,000 years, have had one thing on which to draw moral decisions, and that's the belief in the Christian God and then later the Christian church, right? And so Nietzsche thinks that his generation in particular has been the one that severed the ties of European virtue and Christian morality. That his generation will have to go its own way from this belief in the Christian God and make its own path morally. And so here he's talking about how his generation has to craft virtues in line with their own sympathies, and that they're one of the first virtues, at least in a very long time, that's had to do this. And so he sees this as exciting, but also possibly scary.
Nietzsche is a tad bit arrogant, it seems.
Oh, hugely arrogant. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, but I mean, he sort of owns that.
Right.
That's, like he makes that his thing. That he likes to sort of he's like the secular prophet. I mean, he wrote a book about a secular Jesus who comes down from the mountains and tries to teach the people. And I think that's sort of the character that he tries to take on.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on now to the next